validation from the world won't bring you happiness if you don't value yourself. And it took me a while to learn that, and it took me a while to love myself.
Hi, I'm Sophie from Enemy, and I'm joined by Heather from Pale Waves for the track by track of Who Am I? So the lead single, Change, what can you tell us about this track?
Change actually came to life later on down the line in terms of writing the album. It was a song that I knew I needed on the album, but I didn't have it yet. It was a song that sort of discusses heartbreak, and I feel like personally, I've never truly been heartbroken to the point where people have been, to the point where they physically can't get out of bed and are physically shattered by somebody. So I spoke to a few people in my life and sort of gathered their experiences about heartbreak and their stories, and that was really interesting. And I sort of put it into a song, formed a song from it, and I channeled my frustration in terms of me setting high expectations of people, and generated my frustration in that song. So it's a combination between my personal experience and then other people's experiences in my life.
And given that it's the lead single as well, what made you want to choose this song as the first preview of your second album?
It'd been some time since Pale Waves have released music, so I knew that when we came back, I wanted to come back and shock people, basically. I wanted them to freak out, and Change is just that song, it has the huge chorus, and then it has the kind of sort of unapologetic lyrics. The pre-chorus is all about going down, and I wanted to really, just shock people and sort of let them know that we're back.
Okay, so next up on the album, we have Fall to Pieces. How did you write this song?
This song is about a relationship going through the same argument and sort of coming out with the same outcome. But it has, it is kind of a negative song, but then it has hope too. So it combines positive and negative feelings. But the main concept is about something falling to pieces, something falling apart, and it's about my relationship, and it was kind of the start of our relationship. And at the time, I mentally was kind of all over the place. I've really worked on myself since then, and I've come a long way. But it was basically about me being a terrible person. No, not that terrible, but just being mentally, a bit all over the place, and wanting to change, but I just continuously dragged Kelsey through the same argument.
When you say that this song is about your real life relationship, what does the song mean to you, and what do the lyrics mean to you when you kind of look back over them?
It definitely is nostalgic. It takes me back to a moment in time where I wasn't particularly proud of myself or proud of the person I was. But looking back, I just needed to sort of work on myself and have time to really figure myself out. We went on tour for a long time, and we were constantly, playing a show nearly every night. Whereas it's really healthy to step away from that lifestyle and really, self-care, and I think I neglected that for a long time.
She's cold, she's dark, she's cynical, she's forever angry at the world. She's no angel, she is my religion.
Okay, next up, we have a beautiful song with an equally beautiful video, She's My Religion. Can you take us through that track?
Yeah, so She's My Religion is the first time where I've been so open about my sexuality. And it took me a while to sort of get there, and it took me meeting the right person. I knew that when I was able and ready to be so open about it, I needed to represent the LGBTQ community in a healthy and positive manner. I didn't want to sort of jump into it too soon and sort of put out a song there that I didn't feel was representing the community in the most honest and sincere way. So I needed time to sort of develop it, and I needed time to sort of figure myself out even more. And at the time when I wrote the song, I was ready to do that. I was ready to sort of open up a lot more, to be vulnerable, and I'm really thankful that I have this song because it means so much to people. I feel like it's impacted our fan base the most out of any song that we have, out of any video we have. Our fans finally, who are gay themselves, finally feel represented in a healthy way, and they feel understood. And I'm really glad that we can do that for them.
And how have you found the fans' kind of response to it so far?
Amazing. I've received so many messages. People got really emotional when they watched the video. It's the most emotional response that we've ever had from our fan base. Even people in our lives. Like, I had friends texting me and family saying they cried to the video. And I was like, wow, is it that emotional?
Yeah.
I'm in it though. So, you know, it's hard to sort of get a perspective on things when you're personally like involved or, you know, the subject.
Yeah.
It's hard to sort of step back and view it. So it's really amazing. I feel like it's made so many people emotional, and it's made people feel a lot safer, more understood, and represented in the way that they always wanted to be represented.
You keep the lights on for me. You help me to believe. Loving you is easy. Loving you is easy.
Next up, so recent single Easy. Can you take us through that song?
Yes, so Easy is a moment on the album where it's the feel-good love song. It's the I'm so in love with you moment. I can't believe that, you know, you exist in this time period that I do. And, you know, that I've been able to find you. I mean, look at the world and how populated it is. So many people. And it's insane that, you know, I struggle to comprehend that I've found someone that, you know, I feel is perfect. And Easy was originally a piano ballad.
Right.
It was really emotional. And then I felt like the lyrical content and the music didn't work together. It didn't fit perfectly. It didn't make sense. You know, the lyrics are very uplifting and upbeat and talk about how amazing love can make you feel. And on the piano, it just made it sound sad and a bit depressing. So then it took a complete turnaround. And I was like, okay, we're going to drastically change the music behind it. And then it became what it is today, you know, this really good feel-good song. And it's a lot of people's favorites on the album that have heard the album in full. It's your favorite too? Wow. God. Yeah, it's all my family's favorite too.
Wow. See, great minds.
And Kelsey's mum heard the full album and started crying to Easy as well. I know, it's sweet. It's really sweet. It's really hitting people hard, Easy.
And sort of musically as well, what artist inspired this song?
At the time, I was listening, well, I still am listening to, but I was listening to a lot of like strong female alternative artists like Courtney Love, Alanis Morissette, Liz Phair, and they all have that sort of grungy, super catchy guitar riffs. And I wrote that lead part and I was like, wow, this is so cool. It has to go in the song. And it nearly didn't, because me and the guy that I wrote it with were kind of like contemplating if it should exist within that song. but it just felt right, you know, because it's such like a pop song with an acoustic feel as well, and then throw in this like alternative sort of raw grungy sounding riff was like, oh, I was adding another element to it. But it felt so good, it felt so right, and I it's one of my favorite parts of that song, just the guitar itself.
Sitting on the floor, wishing that you were here. Life is unfair, just want you near. I'm breaking down.
So next up, we've got Wish You Were Here. So what inspired this track?
It is inspired by missing someone. It's actually my favorite track on the album, and it didn't basically nearly make the album. We had some extra time in the studio to kill because we finished the album, and I was like, cool, it's done. I can relax finally.
Yeah.
But then my manager and the producer too was like, we still have time in the studio. Do you want to do another song? And I was thinking, oh my God, what? I had a few extra demos, but none of them were finished, nor did I feel like they fit or they suited being on this record, except from Wish You Were Here. It was actually Kelsey and my manager that really pushed for Wish You Were Here. And so I finished it. I finished writing it and went in, recorded it. And I'm so thankful that they pushed me to do that because it's my favorite one on the album. And, you know, the whole concept is about being away from someone, missing someone, hating that space in between. So, yeah, it was basically inspired by wanting to be around someone, but life got in the way and meant that we had to be separated.
I want you to stay tomorrow to get you by tomorrow.
Okay, so we're getting to the middle of the album now. And next we have Tomorrow. So can you talk to us about that track?
Yeah, so Tomorrow is the first track that I wrote for the record. That sort of made a pathway for this next record. And it's a song mainly for the fans. It talks about people in my life and their experiences. And I wanted a song to be there for the fans, even more so than we are in general. And, you know, I know that life's tough. Life can be hard and difficult. And sometimes you need someone to say, I'm there for you. I've been through it too. Please continue to carry on. And someone to give you strength and understanding. And that's what I wanted to do within the song. And it came to life within a few hours. I actually had the start of it on my acoustic, you know, the Emily, I know the grass. I had the verse, and then the concept of the chorus just came to me so fast because it's all about just finding strength to carry on and to persevere and to continue to sort of battle your way through life.
So given that this was the first track written for the album, where were you when you wrote it?
I was in LA in Kelsey's old apartment in her bedroom. I wrote this on her old acoustic guitar. And I think she turned to me and she said, that sounds really great. You should finish that song. Because I don't finish songs. I'm terrible at starting ideas and then getting bored of it and moving on. So then I actually took her advice and I finished it. And then that sort of began the whole journey of the second album.
You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know me, and I'll do whatever I want to, 'cause I'm a psycho. But that's
The next track we've got is You Don't Own Me. Talk to us about that track.
You Don't Own Me is a really important song, maybe the most important on this record. It's a song that is about being a woman, for women, being a woman in society. You know, we've come a long way, but there's still, you know, it's not over. The journey's not over. We don't have equality just yet. I have had so many experiences of men being sexist towards me, being inappropriate. I mean, I'm sure practically every woman has. And we've had enough of it. I mean, we had enough of it fucking years and years and years ago. But I really wanted a song where I sort of I was really unapologetic. It was powerful. I wanted it to sound angry because we are angry. We're sick of it. We're tired of it. And I wanted a song that would represent women, and a song where they could feel represented and to feel safe. And I wanted to speak out of what it's like to be a woman in this world and in this day and age. I mean, it's just a song that it's kind of like a fuck you song. You don't own me. Stop trying to tell me how to look. Stop trying to tell me what to say. I'm my own person, and you can't own me because you have a different gender to me. But then again, it's not just about men too. It's about the older generation. Women in older generation, with women in particular, they hate how I look. I look like a scary vampire most of the time, and they can't comprehend that.
And I know when live music returns in whatever sort of future, this song's going to sound amazing live, like really anthemic.
It's the one that I'm looking forward to playing most live, and I know the band are too.
Definitely. How did you feel when you heard it back for the first time?
I felt really proud, and I felt amazing that I could create this message, and a lot of my experiences in life being a woman, I could put and channel all that into art and represent it in a song that I felt like it represented women in a good way. It's easy to write a song but then feel like you're not doing it justice, the whole sort of message in general, whereas I feel like I really did with this song. And I love how it has like a sense of anger to it and a sense of aggression, because we are fucking angry.
The next one we got here is I Just Needed You.
I Just Needed You is a very soft, tender, genuine moment on the album. It's about me realigning my priorities in life, and I think society and the world and can really sort of influence or trick you into believing that happiness is within materialistic things, whereas materialistic things will only bring you temporary happiness. You have to find happiness within. It took me a while to sort of learn that lesson, and I finally did learn it, hence why I Just Needed You is a song that exists. And I just wanted to sort of put it out there that, to try and show other people too, that you sort of have to work on happiness within yourself and loving parts of yourself. And I got rid of a lot of toxic things in my life and totally changed my outlook and perspective on life. And that's how I Just Needed You came out. It's sort of me speaking out about, I thought all these things would bring me happiness, tried most of them, and it didn't. But then I worked on myself, I found a genuine love, and now I am so much more happier.
And I picked up on those themes as well, of kind of this self-acceptance and this journey that you've been since the band have kind of hit the mainstream a bit. I also picked up on the lyric, I thought I wanted fame, I thought I wanted money. Is that kind of inspired by your experiences in the spotlight as a musician?
100%. Yeah, I've had so many amazing experiences because of this band. But validation from the world won't bring you happiness if you don't value yourself. And it took me a while to learn that, and it took me a while to love myself. But I'm sort of working on that too. It's a journey that I'm continuing on. But I've really embarked it, and I've really I'm ready to change that and sort of love myself first and accept myself.
So what can you tell us about the next track on the album, this gorgeous acoustic number, Odd Ones Out?
Odd Ones Out is about, I find it really interesting that I've seen so many relationships in my life, and I've seen people be obsessed with each other and be like, wow, I'm going to marry this person. I love them so much. And then a week later, they're practically strangers. They want nothing to do with each other. And I'm just like, wow, how can it take such a turnaround? How is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've seen so many experiences of this in my life that I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be an example of that. I didn't want my relationship to end up like those relationships. I wanted to be the odd one out, because there's not many relationships, I feel like, these days that do continue to be so in love with one another and, stay positive. I feel like so many relationships can easily turn negative or turn into a friendship. And so it's just me saying that I want to continue to sort of like work on our relationship daily and sort of always put in the effort and to make sure that our love continues to be as strong as it is now, and for it to never to fail.
Okay, so next one we got here is Run To. What inspired this song?
Run To is a letter to my mum. It's like everything that I would put in the form of a letter to say to her. You know, it's almost like, I know you worry about me 24/7, but I'm okay. I'm still alive. I'm well. Yeah, I do have my issues. I'm working on them, but overall, I'm not as bad as you think. Like, I'm doing okay. Mothers do tend to worry like so much, but this is just kind of like a letter to my mum's, trying to reassure her in a way. And also me saying that I know you're always there for me. If anything goes bad or if life takes a turn around, I know I can always come to you. And I know that I can find a sense of comfort and I can find good advice. And I know that I can always run to you and you will support me and love me. And I'm grateful for you.
And when writing this song as well, how did it feel to be kind of so open and vulnerable with the theme and the lyrics that you've just described there?
I feel like as an artist, you feel vulnerable all the time. You know, you're putting yourself on show to the world. It is intimidating. And I do have mini freakouts, I'm not going to lie, quite often about it, because I don't think it's exactly the most natural thing to be so open and to share your experiences with the world. I'm not the most open person in general, and I'd like to keep parts of me safe, and I like to keep parts for myself. I don't want to give away and give up everything. I'm not that kind of artist. I won't give away all of me just to become bigger or just for more attention, etc. You know, I do music because I genuinely love music and I love expressing myself. But I feel like I tend to feel vulnerable a lot of the time, but it really helps people. And the music that I write is there for them and it creates a safe space for them. So all that vulnerability, those feelings of me freaking out are worth it.
Who am I? I need a sign. Does anybody know? How do I?
And that brings us to the grand finale, the title track, Who Am I?
Yeah, so who am I wrote when we were on tour. I didn't have Who Am I for a while. It arrived later on. We even started to record the album, and I still didn't have Who Am I. I didn't have the album title. I'd gone through various names, and none of them fit right. None of them felt right. I feel things in my gut. I know when something's right, and I know when something's not. And I just didn't have the album name, and I was sort of getting pressured for it because we nearly finished the record, and I was like, oh, I don't have the album title that represents this album. You're gonna have to give me more time. And one night on tour, I was feeling particularly down and sort of like mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. And because touring in general, the lifestyle is very demanding. And I took myself off into the bathroom, locked the door. No one disturbed me, because when I'm in that kind of mood, no one wants to come near me, or I'm literally like, I will strike and it's not going to be pretty. So everyone left me to it, and I was in the bathroom like for 3 hours. The fans are going to fucking snip that bit out me and be like, oh, she was in the bathroom for 3 hours writing a song. And Who Am I arrived, and I finished it, and then I felt like, wow, this finally represents and gives clarity to the album. And as a collective piece, sonically, like this album, this song just makes perfect sense. It has to be, the finishing part of the album. It has to end the story this way. And this is the perfect album title, Who Am I? It's simple. It's easy to understand. It represents where I was in time and where I was in my life, ready to embark that journey and sort of pining to become the better version of myself, and ready to sort of change my lifestyle and my priorities. So I finally got that gut feeling.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, taking us through your gorgeous second album.
Oh, no problem. It's fun to talk about it.
Thank you.